Guys, different location to normal, but this is going to be a really important video. The ultimate guide to estradiol. This is a bigger problem for more men than ever before. Estrogen's on the rise, testosterone's on the decline, all around the world. The ideal estrogen range. Well, I'll give you a bit of an introduction. The reason estrogen is so important is that when it's too high, it's also problematic when it's too low, but when it's too high, basically, your you-know-what stops working, guaranteed every single time. You're talking mental health problems, you're talking brain fog, like a puffier physique and a puffier face, like a bloated moon face is quite a common one. Water retention, like a lot of women at certain times of the month get this. A lot of men have it permanently now because their estrogen's so high. It's kind of crazy. You're looking at things like man boobs, gynecomastia, a bunch of problems. It's not great. And emotional ups and downs, emotional swings, crazy. So that's why you want your estradiol within the right range. You also don't want it too low because that causes mental health problems and all sorts of things. Most people are in danger of being too high though, as you can imagine. The ideal range is going to be 10 to 40 pgml, picograms per milliliter. I would argue it's more like 10 to 30, but we'll call it 10 to 40 for now. Now, I would argue that there's four main factors that play into this. One I've harped on a lot about in the past is body fat percentage here on YouTube and on all my platforms, Instagram, Twitter, X. One I've not spoken about as much is endocrine disruptors, so I'm going to talk a bit more about that today. I've spoken a bit about supplements, foods. Not much to say on alcohol other than the more you have, the higher your risk is going to be for estrogen, especially beer, especially IPAs. Oh my God. Avoid, if you're going to drink alcohol, make it red wine or whiskey, and just the less the better, truthfully. Celebrations is great, but if it's like twice a week, every single week, 3 times a week, like it's going to cause problems. Anyway, body fat percentage. I'm going to write actually. The ideal is 8 to 15. 8 to 15 is going to be ideal. Once you go well beyond 15, that's where the estrogen just creeps higher and higher and higher and higher because the fat cells themselves start converting more and more of the testosterone into estrogen via aromatase. And this is why guys who hop on TRT and start forcing their testosterone levels way higher than their body would ever do at their age and their body fat percentage, loads of it just converts into estrogen. It's just pointless. You want to get lean first. Hopping on TRT when you're like 20% body fat's just stupid. That's the ideal range. To get there, you're talking things like calorie deficit, a diet plan that works for you, which is a little bit subjective, lots of protein, satiation, lots of activity, high activity level, things like that. In terms of specific foods, and I've already mentioned alcohol, there's not much else to say on alcohol really. In terms of foods specifically, there's foods to avoid for estrogen and there's foods to eat more of. So the ones to avoid are things like anything that's really high in sugar, that's going to spike the estradiol. Anything that's got, a lot of vegan foods are problematic. They do have phytoestrogens. They say that soy has no impact. At higher levels it does on your estrogen levels. Sugar's probably the biggest one. If you eat loads and loads of sugar, it's going to mess with your insulin levels and also your estradiol as well. So I'd definitely avoid sugar. Foods to eat more of are going to be things like cruciferous veg. There's quite a few things like grapes as well. Cruciferous veg has a couple of chemicals that reduce estradiol. It's the same reason that maca root, which is a supplement, also reduces estradiol. we'll talk more about from a few supplements in a minute. So cruciferous veg, combined with a calorie deficit, getting your body fat percentage down, are going to be two very big factors. So I've written a few things down now. The biggest one you want to get in your diet is cruciferous veg. So things like broccoli, sprouts, cauliflower, kale, and then some massive ones to avoid. Seeds are a big one with a lot of you guys. So flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. This is why I do these shorts, and some of you guys might have seen them. Sesame seeds. They've all got phytoestrogens. They also tend to reduce 5-alpha reductase, so they're also bad for DHT levels. If you want a masculine hormonal profile, I'm telling you, avoid seeds. There's better foods to eat. Meat. If you want zinc and magnesium and things like that, meat. Eggs. Have those instead of seeds. And then you can also supplement as well, I guess. But organ meats and meat in general, and having a variety of those things, spreading them out on fish and eggs, that covers all your nutrient baselines. There's no need to go to seeds. If you want more vitamin E, I just personally supplement, so that's a very valid option. Lentils and just quite a lot of vegan foods are just not good for estrogen. That's estrogenic foods. In terms of endocrine disruptors, these are everywhere, unfortunately. You can go online and check your water quality. That's the first thing. I'm lucky here, but you can check if you go online onto your local like council or government website, put in your postcode. This is the same in the US. It works in the UK. I imagine it's the same in most of Europe and Canada. You can check the fluoride content, and it's the fluoride that ramps up that literally increases your estrogen levels. If it's high, you're going to need a water filter, or find a local well, but I think a water filter is going to be a better option for most people. So that's a big deal. The water you drink, and if you want to stay hydrated, and then you're drinking 3 to 4 litres in order to stay hydrated, 3-4 litres a day, and there's estrogen in your water, like kind of a big deal for this topic. So yeah, water filters. And then on the topic of water, you've got things like plastic bottles versus steel cups. If you go to the gym like I do and you have water with you all the time, whether you're training or whether you're working like in coffee shops or in your office or whatever, you've always got water with you. The plastic, if you've always got plastic around you, that's going to add up. You want steel shaker cups. Same thing with meal prep. It's a lot better to have steel or ceramic dishes rather than plastic Tupperwares. What else is there? Fragrances, deodorants. You just want BPA-free alternatives. Aftershaves, shampoo, things like that. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail in this in the upcoming ebook, which is estrogen control. And it's the entire point of the ebook is to get your estradiol down to 10 to 40, the ideal range. It's the first ebook I've ever done on this topic. Don't know why it's taken me so long to get to this. But there's a massive section on this topic, including brand suggestions for all these healthcare products. Because it's just a case with most of them, it's a case of swapping out the current ones for the new ones, the BPA-free ones. Things like air fresheners, just throw them out. You don't need air fresheners. And you've got these dodgy, like a lot of women have these hair products, and you smell them. It just smells like I want to throw up when I smell them. Like it just pure death. It's an awful smell. Same thing with air fresheners. Just throw stuff like that out. There's no point. Some kind of deodorant, yeah, you need deodorant or you're gonna smell. And you see guys like Sol Bra, and you just think you look smelly. You want to smell good, but without literally rubbing estrogen into your armpits. Then it gets into your organs and your bloodstream, or shampoos, and then it gets straight into your brain. Like, it's not great. So kind of a big deal. Finally, supplements. So in terms of estrogen control, supplements, maca root, wild nettle root are the two that immediately are going to help you out. If you've got high estradiol, I would just get on there. In terms of like fast results, this is where herbs and supplements are useful. I think the real long-term foundations come from fixing the root cause. That's the first thing to look at. But then the supplements are great because they can change things really, really quickly. And then when your estradiol comes down, you've got more testosterone. That's just how it works. Because less of it's converting into estrogen. You've got more useful testosterone. In terms of supplements, again, the whiteboard's getting a little bit more populated. So we've got maca root, nettle root, calcium D-glucarate, which is one that's not new, but it's relatively newish in terms of the studies that have done on estradiol. It looks very, very promising. If you've got high estrogen, definitely check it out. I've not spoken about it enough. And then you've got things like resveratrol, which are found in grapes. If you eat grapes regularly, you won't need it. If you don't like grapes, or you just, I don't know, lazy, I guess you could just take the supplement. Resveratrol and zinc seem to reduce aromatase. Again, I don't think it's going to do much if you've got 25% body fat. You want to get that down first. But if you're kind of in the 15 to 25 and you're coming down, adding things like these two and cruciferous veg, some of these fibrous veggies like potatoes, that will start to make more and more of a difference, especially as this comes down. But that's more or less it from a supplement standpoint. Just make sure with supplements that you combine it with this, which is just foundational, and avoiding the seeds. So many guys are eating sesame seeds. Pumpkin seeds is the big one. Flax seeds is popularized as like a health food. Not for men, it's not. Not for most men. And then endocrine disruptors. Yeah, so I'll link below to the new ebook. It's a big one. It's still currently discounted, and it will be till Sunday. So check it out. It's very affordable as well. Like there's no reason not to get it if your estrogen's high. You guys are gonna like it. And